Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. Happy Friday to you all, my friends. I hope that you're really excited for the weekend. I hope that you have great things planned. I don't know if you will have a lot of downtime. I don't know if you're like me where you have a lot of chores and you're like going out on fun adventures, if you have to work, whatever it is that you have to do or you get to do. I hope that it's going to be super fun and amazing. And I hope that today, Friday, that you're having a great day, whether your day is just beginning in the middle or towards the end. I hope that it was super satisfying and full of fun memories, feeling like you actually got work done. To me, like today, I was having a hard time. I was having a really hard time focusing, or yesterday rather. I was having a really hard time focusing on work, and I don't know why. I just kept getting distracted, and I feel like that happens, and I feel like it's not even the case of working at home now full-time forever, because even when I did work in an office, I could still get easily distracted if there was something super crazy or fun, or if I was just in that mood. So anyway, but yeah, I hope that you're having a great day, but if you're having a hard day, just remember that there is always the option to do the 5-minute reset, which is to take at least 5 minutes by yourself. If you have more time, take more, but to take at least 5 minutes by yourself to decompress, to reset, to come back to baseline, to kind of just like shake everything off your shoulders and release any stress or tension or trouble that you have been packing around the whole day, and just kind of let it go so you can have a clean slate and kind of start fresh for the day. And just so you know, you can do this as many times as you need during the day, the week, month, whatever it may be. There is no shame in taking that time to really just kind of restart so that you can have the best day and experiences that you possibly can. Anyone that finds that to be weird or strange, I feel like they're just jealous or confused on what you're doing and don't realize how beneficial it can be. But so yeah, take that time, shake it off, make a list of at least 4 things that you're grateful for, and those can be really big things, those can be small things, those can be medium things. Maybe you're grateful that you get to go to the beach this weekend, you actually get to be out with people, or maybe you're really excited to finally get your dog groomed after not having services like that for months and months and months, or maybe you're super happy that you finally had time to go grocery shopping and you're able to get back into meal prepping and everything like that. So whatever it may be, there is something you can be grateful for, and that's why I say you can be grateful for anything. That makes the list never ending, so that if you were to make a gratitude list every day of at least 4 things, which I highly recommend, then you'll virtually never run out of things to be grateful for, because there are so many things every single day, and as the days change, for you to be grateful for. So make that gratitude list. Also take some time, if you do have it, to problem solve whatever is causing you stress, whatever is getting in your way, whatever is just changing your mood and affecting you so dramatically. If you're able to problem solve that and have the rest of your day be better, or tomorrow be a better day, that is fantastic and a great idea, I think. But the most important thing for the 5-minute reset is to be able to come away from it feeling at least neutral, if not positive, about the rest of your day, because the last thing you want to do is to be sulking around for the rest of the day, pass your negative mood on to someone else, because misery loves company. But I encourage you to take the time to really just like shake it all off and realize the gratitude list is the thing that's going to really help you change your mindset and realize that there are still amazing and wonderful things to be grateful for and to be happy about despite what you're going through. And again, as I say every single time, I'm not here to diminish your feelings, but to remind you that there are still amazing things in your life to be happy about. But anyway, I do hope that you're having an amazing day. Just a reminder that this week, which today is the last day in this topic for the week, this week we're talking about stop giving up on yourself. And today, Friday, the last day of this week, and for this topic, we are going to end it on talking about fearing the future and possible failures. So let's go ahead and just jump right in, shall we? Sometimes I feel like I spend most of my time living within the fear of failure or what is to come for my life. But honestly, that is just what it's like to have anxiety. I struggle with anxiety, and I have recently found that it's something that I struggle with the most out of any sort of mental health struggle that I've gone through, but also something that I know the most about. And I feel like that is the thing that I really should be pressing to help people with, to teach people about, to give tips about. And, here in the podcast, I like to diversify and talk about different topics every single week because it helps people. And, maybe one week isn't necessarily something that you are interested in, or that's going to help you, but the next week might be, or the previous week was, or you might learn something about what a friend is going through, and that'll help you better understand them or help them. But regardless, anxiety is the thing that I'm realizing that is actually something that I talk about all the time, and it's my reality. But anyway, and that contributes to my fear of failure. But I know that many of us that aren't necessarily plagued by anxiety still suffer from fear of failure in what the future holds. So now, maybe you don't think this is something that you struggle with, and that's totally fine. So let's go through some signs that you may be struggling with fear of failure. So that would be procrastinating, worried about what others think about you, telling yourself that you aren't good enough, being a perfectionist, doubting yourself, troublemaking decisions, and intense feelings of shame. So the bottom line with all of these symptoms is that you are letting these things rule your life and prevent you from moving outside your comfort zone and living your life. And honestly, there should not be anything in your life that you are letting rule over you or dictate what you're going to do, how you're going to live your life. You need to be out there living it the best way that you can, and just not feeling like some sort of emotion or feeling or fear is going to be holding you back. So, and I do understand that past failures and experiences can cause these fears to originate or grow even bigger than currently. But again, we can't let the past rule over us and dictate what we do. We need to believe that we can overcome anything that has gotten in our way, and we can move forward and not let it continue to get in our way. And even if it does start to creep up, we can come up with ways to overcome those things, to kick them to the curb, to kind of move past them. Because, you don't have to live your life like the way that you have been living it. You can change it at any point, any moment, any time. So remember that you are not locked into the way that you are living your life right now. And isn't that amazing? Isn't that one of the most precious things to know, is that we could change at any moment. We can become a different person, like in the next 5 minutes, by tomorrow, by next week, by next month. So I want you to know that you are not locked in. You are not trapped. You might feel trapped because emotions can be super overwhelming, and they can make you have irrational thoughts and a disproportionate reality of what your life is. But you need to be able to, have the courage and strength to take a step back and realize, no, I can change this. I can become something different. I can become even better. So let's jump into some ideas on how to overcome fearing the future and failures. First, I encourage you to discover the origins of your fears. Think back to whether it was from childhood experiences, a time that you were humiliated, something happening out of the blue with no expectation or warning that causes uncertainty for the future. No matter what it is, it's important to nail down where the fear came from, to evaluate those experiences, to know how to adjust your mindset and move forward without those setbacks. I love the idea of just knowing where things came from, how things happened, and just really evaluating how we were in the beginning and how those things came to be, because that'll actually help you to backtrack and figure out where those train of thoughts came from, how they were developed, who imparted that kind of information into your brain, and then be able to step back and realize, okay, well, that wasn't true, or this person was a bad influence in my life, or I was feeling this way because of this really big thing that happened to my life. So you understand, if you go back and look at the experiences that caused you to feel the way you do now, and those things are still hanging on for dear life because they've just been so ingrained and burned on your mind and your mindset into who you are, then you're able to figure out how to undo those things. So obviously, the next thing you can do is change your mindset and perspective. But I want you to understand that this includes not just changing your perspective on how you developed your fears, but also how to manage your mind and emotions going forward, and you I love mindset and perspective changing and training, because those are the things that are going to carry you through life. Your mindset can determine how you act, think, and feel with everything in your life. So it's very important to set the standard for how your mindset will work when you approach new opportunities, have to do some problem solving, or actually do make mistakes or fail at something. And with that, just know that even if you do fail, it just means you need more time to develop those skills. And by pushing through and letting yourself make those mistakes and failures, you are learning more and more of what to do and not to do. So I love to encourage people to just go through those learning lessons, those learning opportunities, because you don't even know, and I can't even tell you how much you're going to learn and gain in those times, because we don't know what's going to happen, like based upon whatever failures and mistakes that you have made and gone through. You could learn the most amazing way to never make that mistake again, or you could encounter being able to be mentored or helped by someone amazing that maybe would not have come along if you weren't in the situation that you happened on. You know what I mean? And you don't even know like what opportunities you get, like if you fail or make mistakes that cause you to have to go back into some sort of formal education, or people offering you the opportunity to be educated because they feel like it'll be helpful for you, and then you just find the most amazing teachers and teaching and opportunities in education. Like you just don't know. You don't know. Or maybe those mistakes and failures will lead you in a different path that you didn't even know was waiting for you, for something that fits your life even better than you could have ever imagined, and it's just never really occurred to you, but all of a sudden it's like bam, there in your face. So I just love it, and I always encourage people, learning opportunities. Do not try to hide from pain, mistakes, failures, anything that's going wrong with your life, because also, if you don't learn how to navigate and get through those things, then you will have a lot of trouble doing that when it all of a sudden happens to you, and you may not have anyone around to help you and navigate through that time. And it might seem like it's so much harder because you've never done it, but you've come so far with so many accomplishments and achievements that it's just going to be like super difficult to navigate that time. So I encourage you, just let it happen, let it go through, and learn as much as you can when it comes. Another important thing to remember is that if you do struggle with fear of the future, because it's unsettling not knowing what is going to happen, remind yourself that life is a journey and you are on that journey, and accepting things as they come is the best way to learn to live in the moment and be flexible. And it's so true. You want to learn how to live in the moment more, enjoy the present, enjoy what's happening right now. And I know that sometimes the news can really scare us into being afraid of what could come next, because everyone's always making predictions and based on what is happening right now, especially within the pandemic that we're in. There's always new studies about like how more it's going to spread, what's going to change, what's going to happen in life. But I encourage you to take the time to really figure out how to enjoy what's happening for your life right now, because no one is promised tomorrow as well. So you just need to soak up what's happening right now so that you can, live as much of a fulfilling life as you possibly can. And included in changing your mindset is working on positive thinking. This is something that will need to be worked on every single day, because each day is different and presents different challenges. Like you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. But with positive thinking, we need to stop focusing so hard on the negative outcomes and obstacles that present challenges, because for one, those types of things never go away. Like they always happen. Like you can't just all of a sudden be like, no, bad things are not going to happen to me anymore. Negative experiences are never going to come my way anymore. Like they just don't go away. They are always like coming up and creeping up, especially when you don't expect it. And two, there's a learning opportunity every single time with those experiences. I know I've talked about it already like 2 or 3 times, but learning experiences are the ways that you'll be able to break bad habits. You'll be able to learn new ways to do things. You'll have new opportunities. You'll just go different places that you wouldn't have gone otherwise, because you didn't even know they existed and you didn't even know that you were ready for it yet. So learning lessons, always the best thing ever. Use the power of positive thinking to think of positive outcomes that could happen and new experiences you could have, instead of always fearing negative happenings. If you're anything like me, I struggle with worry a lot, and I'm always thinking about what the what the worst case scenario could be in any given like thought or any given plan or whatever I'm trying to come up with. And I always think of like at least 20 other negative things that could happen. But I, myself, and anyone else that struggles with that as well, I encourage you to take all that energy, take that mental energy that you're using to come up with like a bajillion negative things, and think of positive things that could happen, or just think of different things that could happen, because those things could happen too. You know, we focus so hard and so deeply on the negative things that could possibly happen in our life, and you know, we're always like around, like for me at least, always just like holding our breath, waiting for the other shoe to drop, because that's just how life appears to be. And even if good things are happening in your life, you're always like highlighting the bad things, so it appears like bad things are always happening, when in reality, if you focus more on the positive things and the things that are going well and the things that are, you know, helping you grow as a person, those are the things that are going to seem like are happening more and more in your life, as opposed to the negative. And you know what else can help alleviate some of the stress of fearing failure and the future? Making a plan. Creating goals and making plans can help you feel more organized and as if you have a bit of control over whatever is happening. I mean, don't live too much in the whole control thinking, like it's a dangerous game. Believe me, I've played it many times. But sometimes the illusion helps. Sometimes just like feeling like you're in control and you're on top of it will just make you feel more secure in what's happening and less worried about what could happen or what is going to happen. Goal setting and planning will help you build confidence, self-worth, and belief in yourself, because you are out there achieving things, growing as a person, and mistakes will still happen. You know, because like I said before, you can't get rid of those in your life, but you won't feel as emotional about it if you have so many positives happening around you, you know, and that's again, bringing it back to what I said before. If you highlight the positive things that are going on in your life more than the negative, it's going to feel like more positive things are happening than negative. And when negative things creep in, it's not going to be as big of a deal, or, you know, it's not even going to feel like it's going to affect you that much, because it's like, oh, but all these amazing things are happening in my life. This little thing, I'm not going to worry too much about it. That's the things I'm hoping that you'll be able to say to yourself, you know, once you kick in that positive mindset. I want to quickly mention how words of affirmation can really help you establish a positive mindset and give you a boost of confidence and courage. That's it. That's all I really wanted to say. Words of affirmation can be just like phrases, quotes, mantras that you tell yourself every single day, that you hang up in your home, so that when you go to places that you in your home that you frequent a lot, like maybe the fridge or maybe a mirror somewhere or maybe a wall where you have your calendar or your whiteboard or whatever it may be, or your front door, you'll read those things, they'll be ingrained in your mind, and then when you feel like you are lacking some positive thinking, when you're going through struggles and you're trying to problem solve, you can go to those things or recall them in your mind, and it'll help you change your mindset and have a better perspective of what's going on. So consider that if you've never tried that. Living in the moment will also help you overcome your fear of the future, because you are instead enjoying what is happening right now, as opposed to being so worried about what is or could happen. I already talked about this. I already mentioned it. Living in the moment is one of the most important things we need to do, because again, I will say it again for the second time, we are not promised tomorrow. We need to enjoy what's happening right now. We need to feel so lucky about the blessings that God has given us every single day, and know that we need to enjoy them and do His work while we're here, because again, you might be gone tomorrow. I know that sounds kind of negative and it sounds really dark, but it's not. It's just the truth and reality of life. And we need to do what we need to do while we're here right now, while we have the opportunity. Lastly, at some point, you will need to accept and embrace that the future is uncertain and that mistakes and failures are reality sometimes. That's just how it is. Now, this isn't me telling you to sweep everything under the rug or to ignore your feelings as a way to get over it. I encourage you to accept that sometimes you will feel those fears bubble up, and will need to accept those are there. Figure out what caused them, go back to the root cause, even if it's like something that happened recently that's causing that fear to happen right now. Navigate through those feelings by asking self-discovery questions, and use those discoveries from the self-discovery time to learn something and move forward. Overcoming your fears will make you stronger and more resilient. So that can be your game plan. Anytime a fear comes at you, whether it's a fear of failure, making mistakes, of what's going to happen in the future, uncertainty, even if it is mixed in with anxiety, which is what I experience on a regular basis all the time, seemingly, take that moment to step back, evaluate what is happening, accept that those feelings are happening. Don't just try to sweep them away or pretend like they're not there. That's not going to be helpful, because then you'll come back to a mountain of feelings that you have to dig through, as opposed to the one that's happening or two that's happening right now. You see what I mean? It's better to attack things as they come, as opposed to locking it all away and coming back to it as this big mountain that's going to be so much more stressful to tackle. But yeah, figure out what caused them, navigate through them, ask yourself questions. Why am I feeling this way? What has caused this? What can I do to prevent this from happening in the future? What can I do right now to make myself feel calm and happy and positive? And is there any problem solving I need to do? And do I need to ask for help in really figuring out why my mind is going in this direction? Figure it out, and then use those discoveries, whatever questions, whatever answers you get from the questions that you ask yourself, or you have someone help you ask yourself, and then use that information to move forward. That's what I want you to do to overcome your fear of failures, mistakes, and the future. So I really hope that those tips really helped you. And honestly, there are definitely going to be times where the future will be scary, especially if you're embarking on what you would feel like is a new journey, new things in your life. And I felt this exact same way recently when I recently changed jobs. And right now we're in the middle of trying to figure out how to change our home, like a different one, and what route to go there. And I know that and then we're trying to figure out other ways to change just the way that we run our life. And a lot of times that can be really scary, because you don't know what to expect, no matter how well you plan. Crazy things are going to happen. You just don't know what's going to happen. And you have to take it as it comes, be flexible, stay positive, and know that you're going to get through it. And I believe that God's going to help us get through everything we're going through. So that's it, guys. That's it. I'm going to end this right here. Thank you so much for listening to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode and any of the other episodes this week. And if you did, someone else that would enjoy it, I encourage you to share it with them as well. Have an amazing weekend. Again, happy Friday. I really hope that you enjoyed this topic and this series. Please check the description box for notes for the show. Also, come visit me over on Instagram. I am at Sabrina Joy Perozzo. Check out my website, which is sabrinajoy.com. And also, my email address is in the description box of where you can send me any questions, comments, concerns, or prayer requests that you may have. But again, have an amazing weekend. Thank you so much for joining me and listening to me ramble on about all the topics all the time. Have a good one, and I can't wait to see you next week. Bye, everyone.